Welcome back, another episode of In Depth with Academia. I'm Richard Price, your host and the CEO of academia.edu, and today diving into fascinating and honestly kind, mind-twisting paper by Rajiv Singh, an independent researcher. I'm here to present the ideas as neuter as possible. This isn't an endorsement, a conversation starter anyone interested in, well, intelligence, vision, and what it means information to mean something. All right, let's get started. The is called Recursive Information Processing, an observer-aware for adaptive intelligence and vision systems. That's quite a mouthful, right? Basically, what it's trying to figure out is how can AI systems and perception systems become flexible by actually making the the AI, or maybe even a human, the center of the informational universe. Instead of seeing information as one-way street from input to output, Singh asks, shouldn't the zone state, memories, even their mood, so speak, shape information at any given moment? Why does this matter, you might be asking? Well, traditional AI systems and a lot of technology we use every day process data in linear ways. You throw an at a computer, it spits out a label. You say cat, it says meow. That's not an example. But these systems are often stuck with what they learned during. If the world around suddenly changes, a new context, a new challenge, they might not handle very intelligence like what humans, animals have to in moment, right? If you move from a sunny day to your perception shifts, interpretation updates, you functioning. So Singh main is we design artificial systems that actually of themselves as observers that change and adapt as they process information. Can AI, not just during training, but also during real-time inference, adapting as its environment shifts? Now, how does this recursive thing work? The paper introduces what's called the Recursive Information Processing Framework. RIPF is call it REP for short, just for fun. Here, instead treating the observer as a thing that just receives information, the observer is in the loop, feeding back into itself. So every time information comes in, it's by the observer's current state. And then, get this, the resulting interpretation updates the observer, setting the for what happens. So it's like a never-ending loop. Observe, interpret, update, around and around. For a more concrete angle, Singh applies this idea computer vision, rolling out something called the Recursive Vision Framework. Imagine a robot trying to, a maze. Instead of recognizing walls and doors based what it saw during training, its own evolving observer state, the context built up, actually shapes what it sees next. If the lighting changes or new appear, it doesn't panic or crash. Instead, it updates how it sees the maze, moment by moment, like a human would. Methods-wise, there's no giant experimental dataset or dashboard benchmarks in this. It's a conceptual piece. The models are described mostly in mathematical terms, drawing from information theory, cybernetics, cognitive science, but not so much hard code hardware. That's maybe a limitation, but it's also in for people to building these systems. All right. What are the insights here for listeners? For of you working AI, even just curious about how we make smarter Singh's framework, you to consider. What if your algorithms could update their own way of seeing the world as often as you? Your phone be less brittle when you move from to a new? Could medical imaging systems adapt to diseases retraining from scratch? This recursive aware approach could be the gateway. Let me for a sec. This actually makes me think of something totally random. Do you ever get that feeling like you look at a painting one day, it's beautiful, but another day you see something completely different in it? The artwork didn't change. You did. That's kind of what Singh is talking about, only for AI. To main, just a reminder, these are Singh's ideas. I presenting them as food for thought for you, not as settled facts, or the one true path for AI research academic is a conversation, not commandment set in stone. So, to wrap up, Singh suggests that intelligence, adaptive vision, even basic active interpretation could be much richer if our systems, the observer inside loop. We're not just passive recipients, we change as we perceive, and what we perceive changes us. If we're interested in building smarter AI, or even just understanding how we process the world, this recursive aware is worth chewing over. Thanks for joining me on In Depth with. Academic research is meant to provoke reflection and creative exploration, not to declare absolute truths. Until time, stay curious.